Hi, what you have just seen are some clips from my latest animated short film Necessity. I made all the visuals of the film alone over a time period of 3 months. Now the film is 8 minutes in length and I had to do all the work by myself. Now that's a lot of work. So I had to work smarter and find out ways how I can make things faster and easier for me. Using sine waves massively helped me save time in some shots. In this shot of these 3 aggressive bees flying around and flapping their wings, I made 2 different versions of mesh for each bees. One where their wings are closed and the other where their wings are spread apart. Now using a numerical value, I could interpolate between these 2 different versions of meshes and create an illusion that these bees are flapping their wings. Now this is just me playing with these values, but I somehow have to communicate to the computer so that the computer can do it herself. One very time consuming way of doing it would be to go to a specific time, tell the computer to use a specific value for the wings, then skip a few frames and tell the computer to use another value. Then I have to perpetually do it forever until I have a good animation. Now this would take a lot of time, and that's where sine wave comes in. A sine function periodically increases and decreases a given value. If you are not familiar with the term periodic, it just means a value repeats itself after a definite interval of time. Now I can just tell my computer to change the value of the wings in a pattern of sine waves. The sine wave does 2 things here: moving between the value of the wings and doing it forever in a specific interval of time, as the nerds call it, periodically. I also use the sine function for the up and down motion of the bees because if I didn't use it, I would have to do it manually all by myself. If you have caught up with the concept, you can understand how powerful sine waves can be. But it poses one problem. Doing something periodically makes everything mechanical or robotic. The values are literally computed with a computer. To make it more organic, we have to bring certain variations or noises in these values. They create variation and makes everything cooler. Using noise in a sine wave randomly changes its amplitude. The bees flap their wings in a random Brownian motion, and the new animation definitely seemed more lifelike than before. I used sine waves for interpolating and on position vectors in this shot, but the possibilities are limitless. In this shot, where my protagonist just lost one of her legs and struggling to balance herself, I used a sine wave on the rotational properties of her leg bones. See how her leg is rotating in a stuttering motion? That's sine wave added with some noise. Watch this world serpent roaring to infuse fear in the protagonist. See how its head is moving up and down? That's sine wave. See how these rocks are vibrating? That's just sine wave applied to their position vectors. This is a favorite shot of mine. I'm not decent at character animation and I was very nervous how it would turn out if I did it manually myself. So I decided to delegate it to the computer. See, if I wiggle the rotation of this single bone fast, it creates an illusion of a human struggling. I just told my computer to use a sine wave for this bone's rotation, and man, the result really satisfied me. I used the same technique for the leg bones too. So that's all. I hope you learned something useful from this and re-realized the power of math.